Recently, I had an opportunity to sit down with Ken Casey, lead singer and founding member of the Dropkick Murphys, one of the few bands out there that seems willing to go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump and his administration.
Really? So we're just going to jump right into the gaslighting. One of the few bands out there willing to go toe-to-toe with Trump. Interesting take.
My name is Ken Casey, and I'm the lead singer of the band Dropkick Murphys. Yeah, I hate to criticize other punk bands for not standing up. Like, I don't want to be that guy that's calling people out. However, there's a reason why MAGA and Trump have created the atmosphere they have, because they've bullied people into silence. People say, oh, if I just keep my head down.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Project 2025 is Donald Trump's playbook for controlling and punishing women, poor people, people of color, and the LGBTQ+ community. It is time for all Americans to band together and to finally defeat the Trump agenda. And the only way to do that is by confronting him at the polls. Do you want to live in a dictatorship? Well, show up and vote! Yeah!
And if you're a Trump supporter, fuck you and get the fuck out of our scene.
Absolutely nobody is afraid to speak up and talk shit about Donald Trump. He is the most shit-talked person in the world for at least a decade now. If you lived in a real dictatorship, this is exactly what would happen to you.
It was an act of protest by 3 young women, but a protest that set them against both church and state in a system effectively controlled by one man, Vladimir Putin. The 3 members of the punk rock band Pussy Riot were unsurprisingly found guilty of hooliganism by a Moscow court today. And despite growing unease across Russia and the world, they were each sentenced to 2 years in jail.
This afternoon, the 3 punk band protesters were led in handcuffs into a glass box in court. They'd already been detained for 5 months, and after a 2-week trial, the judge had set today for her verdict.
Well, there we have it. At least we now have one brave man, Ken Casey, lead singer of the Dropkick Murphys, who's going to do what nobody else is doing, and he's going to stand up. And he's going to stand up for you, and he's going to stand up to Trump. And he hates to be that guy, but he's got to call out all these other people too afraid to speak up against Trump.
Because I can say everything I want, you can say everything you want. We could be right till we're blue in the face. But if we can't make that common ground back with some of these people, like, you know, to have communication again, if it's always going to be left, right, we ping pong back and forth, like, I don't think America ever goes back to like what it used to be like when you didn't disagree over, when you disagreed over politics, it was like a little talk. It wasn't like, you know, fuck you, I'm never speaking to you again. And so I'm like, caught in between a lot of times where it's like I want to be able to bring a little bit of unity and conversation back, but
Hold on a second. Isn't this you?
If you consider yourself a patriot and you're spouting off that election denying I will fight your ass outside if you want to. Wake the up!
My question to you is, what does punk rock mean to you today in this moment?
if it ain't about rebellion at this point, what was it all to me ever worth anything in the first place? You know, because I'm not going to discount, you know, what the Queen may have done, or what Ronald Reagan may have done, or what George Bush may have done, you know, and that and the many other things that the bands that I grew up listening to may have sung about. But the moment we're in now, it's like, if bands aren't ready, if bands call themselves a punk band and they're not ready to get up and make some noise and cause some trouble right now, then...
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Every single punk band that talks about politics is anti-Trump. And so be it. If you want to be anti-Trump, be anti-Trump. But if you're going to pretend like there's anybody who's actually afraid of consequences for speaking out against Trump, you're completely full of shit. But of course you're just saying this because, you know, you joined this Home of the Brave organization. You guys are trying to raise money and donate. You're getting paid to fantasy role play that you're somehow a lone voice as a resistance against a fake dictatorship. Trump talks a lot of shit, and we're allowed to talk shit about him. There's been people who've been making a living talking shit about him for the last decade at least.
Okay? Well, punk is anti-government. Listen, I'm not out waving the Democratic Party's flag.
And in the very next breath, he's going to wave the Democratic Party's flag. But he's not doing that.
If I have to pick two, only one votes for kids not to have free lunches. Only one votes to, you know, it's small government. What? Right. Only one tries to take over a woman's uterus, tries to tell us everything that we can do in life or can't do. I don't know why this is radical to say, let's take care of each other. Let's look out for each other. Let's give those that need some help a little hand up, and let's give those that have more money than them or generations of their family could ever spend in their life, let's take a little more from them. Is that communism? Fuck no. And you know, there's the voices out there, you know, don't be a shill for the government.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.